Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Wesley Hunt just takes a wrecking ball not only to Jasmine Crockett, but to the entire Democrat Party on the subject of illegal immigration. Let's dive in.
When you start to decide that just because somebody came from another country, they are automatically some kind of criminal, that does sound kind of xenophobic to me, because you are using a paintbrush to paint an entire group of people where the vast majority of them are coming here because they are actually seeking a better life. But let me get to what this hearing is supposed to be about. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the First Lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB-1 visa. And what that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here.
Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under the Biden administration, the United States was flooded with tens of millions of illegal immigrants that used dozens of visa programs to finesse their way into our great nation. In response to this invasion, President Trump signed an executive order simply returning immigration law back to the standards of July 19, 2021, which restores and enhances all screening of foreign nationals, especially those who are considered to be a high risk to this country. In order to secure the homeland, which was about 77 million Americans voted for, we must do more than just finish the wall, fund CBP, and support ICE's lawful deportation operations. We must also reform visa programs which have been used to usurp federal immigration law. We were told post 9/11 that we were going to fight in Afghanistan and that we had to fight in Iraq. And why? Because if we didn't fight the enemy there, then we're going to have to fight them here in our own country now. And now, because of the failures of the Democrat Party's policies, they are now in our homeland. And how do we know? Because 382 citizens who are matches on the terror watch list were encountered at the southern border, and 99 of those were released into the United States from 2001 through 2023. Unacceptable. The Democrat Party under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, and numerous other dark money groups and NGOs made it their mission to flood this country with tens of millions of unvetted immigrants and people who wish to do us harm. Terrorists like Egyptian national Mohammed Sabri Solomon, who used a homemade flamethrower and Molotov cocktails in Boulder, Colorado, to attack pro-Israel demonstrators who were advocating for the release of hostages. This man, who was admitted into the U.S. in 2022 on a tourist visa and was then given work authorization in 2023 by, yes, you guessed it, the Biden administration, and had been posting pro-Muslim Brotherhood propaganda on his Facebook page for more than a decade. The faux outrage from the left continues to ignore the damage that has been done to our country and people that are literally maiming our fellow Americans while we have done nothing and we stood by idly. We are now acting and behaving in a way that enforces the law. This is not xenophobia. This is the way and the process that it takes to enter a sovereign nation, and we at the federal government must protect that. I am somebody that has deployed all over the world. No other country operates this way. There is not a single country in the world that would allow 20 million people to enter their country illegally, and then when we do something about it, we then cry xenophobia. It would never happen. When I was stationed in Saudi Arabia, you had to have a diplomatic passport just to enter Saudi Arabian airspace. So the idea that we should at least speak to every single person that wants to enter our country is a novel idea because everybody else does it.
Leave it to Wesley Hunt to come forward with a scathing speech while holding the receipts of the Biden administration, of the amount of people that not only have been brought in, but often the kind of people that have been allowed in. One story in particular that Hunt correctly brought up here, the attack in Boulder, Colorado, apparently that story gets even worse once you start digging around. But I'll get to that in a moment. But first off, also, you can leave it to Jasmine Crockett to go off on a weird tangent that has nothing to do with the actual subject matter, then try to tie it in, and it won't work, and then complain that certain people have been allowed into this country, but not certain others. It is a bizarre it is a bizarre worldview and a bizarre mind that could somehow warp that into the illegal immigration issue. First off, you don't come after the first ladies. You don't do it. As much as I like joking about Michelle Obama, I try to avoid that as much as I can. I didn't like it when Democrats attacked Laura Bush. I did not like it when Michelle was first attacked in the White House, although there's some weird stories surrounding her. And I certainly didn't like it when people came out against Jill Biden, although Jill deserves a different kind of scrutiny. And the reason I'm leaving Hillary out of it is the same reason I'm kind of leaving Jill out of it. They kept inserting themselves into politics. I like it when we have our first ladies sort of as a sacred pedestal. They don't typically try to do too much, and instead they care about the elegance of the White House. I think that is a wonderful thing to do. And so, of course, Jasmine Crockett's going to come out and attack it. It's what she does. It's what she does. Hey, y'all, here's the deal. Gold loves President Trump. Under Trump's first term, the price of gold soared 53%, and the price of silver jumped 51%. Since the start of the second term, gold has skyrocketed even higher, breaking records and even outperforming stocks. Here's what I like about precious metals like gold and silver. They have been used as a store of value for centuries. Governments can't easily manipulate it. They are used as hedges against market risk and, of course, against inflation. That's why I partnered with the amazing people over at Goldco. Goldco is an award-winning precious metals company. They are fans of this show, and they have helped millions of Americans just like y'all to purchase over $3 billion in gold and silver. Right now, you can get a free copy of their 2025 gold and silver kit. On top of that, you might also qualify for their amazing unlimited silver bonus offer. So don't wait on this. Go to politibrawlgold.com to learn more. That's politibrawlgold.com or call 855-644-GOLD. Meanwhile, Wesley Hunt is bringing one of the best responses to the whole insanity that is the illegal immigration, but the story that he's specifically honing in here, the attack in Boulder, Colorado, I believe just a month ago. This dude is a foreign national. He came over on false pretenses. He came over and abused our system, and one person, I think, nearly lost her life because of it. And strangely enough, the story gets even worse. One person who was there apparently survived the Holocaust. We still have a handful of those people who went through such an ordeal. So it's just a bizarre story that gets worse and worse the more you look at it, and it's all because of this carte blanche idea that it's okay to have all these illegal immigrants. Democrats like it because it's the only way they can show their patriotism, by showing how great America is. What's that? Their illegal immigrants have been bused to Martha's Vineyard? Uh-oh, better get on top of that and deport them. Funny what happens when it actually comes to their backyards. And then I actually have to look at my own side a little bit and with a critical eye, because there are Republicans who do not want to get a hold of this issue. There is a certain area up in North Georgia, a town called Dalton, where it's the carpet capital of the world, and it's also one of the capitals for illegal immigration. There's a ton of it up there. And a girl who was here illegally got caught on a traffic stop, and that cop lost his job because local law enforcement does not want to work with ICE. They do not want to harm the industry that's out there. This is a problem across the entirety of the United States. It's not just the idea of foreign nationals coming over and committing unspeakable crimes with Molotov cocktails. No, it is something as pervasive as keeping natural-born citizens and immigrants who actually want to be here and came here legally, and taking away their potential jobs, all because they hopped the fence sooner than they were supposed to. They broke the system. It's like cutting in line. All right? There's no reason for it. You wait like everyone else. And if the Democrats cared about this issue, then they'd be talking about changing the way they allow naturalization. They'd be talking about allowing in more people through the legal manner, but they don't. They don't. They don't want this. Meanwhile, Wesley Hunt has had enough of this. He's a Texas man, and naturally, when you're from Texas, you got to deal with things that are from south of the border from time to time. It's going to happen. And of course, he has a more unique perspective than someone that's not in a border state like myself. But we've all had to deal with illegal immigration one way or another, and now, instead of paying the piper, it is time that we start exploring the options of mass deportations. We've started off on a good note, taking out violent criminals, but even Democrat judges won't let us do that. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Now there's a judge running around saying that, no, the Supreme Court might have made its ruling, but my order still stands. His name's Brian Murphy, by the way. He's a judge from Massachusetts who apparently thinks he's more important than the Supreme Court. It is getting crazy out there. The illegal immigration numbers have gotten to astronomical levels. The amount of crime that has been brought through because of cartel violence, by the way, that's the root of that matter. But we have an issue with illegal immigration, and we've got to nip it in the bud. Wesley Hunt gives a perfect speech on what these problems start looking like when you let it go for far too long. Jasmine Crockett, however, she can keep whining about Melania Trump, but she can't stop whining. That's the sad, sad truth. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.